Ok. Boa tarde a todos. Obrigada pela presença. Sejam todos bem-vindos a mais um webinar do EducationUSA, sua fonte oficial de informações sobre ensino superior nos Estados Unidos. Eu me chamo Fernanda, sou orientadora do EducationUSA na PUC Rio, e hoje nós temos o prazer de estar com o Sample College e com a Carol Mead, que vai falar um pouco da instituição, das possibilidades para alunos internacionais. Fiquem à vontade para fazer suas perguntas, podem colocar no chat, como a Carol falou, fiquem à vontade, tenham todos uma ótima sessão. Agora eu vou ficar quietinha. Carol, the floor is yours.
Great, Fernando, great, welcome. Thank you for that introduction. Welcome, everyone. So good to see you all here today. My name is Carol Mead, and I am the International Student Advisor at St. Paul College. And I will start sharing my screen, and I'm going to give about a 25 to 30 minute presentation, and then take questions, or if you have questions, while I'm giving the presentation, you can just type them into the chat as well. So I'm going to start with the 2+2 model and how attending a community college can save you money as you work towards your Bachelor of Arts or your Bachelor of Science degree at a US university. So some of the terms that I'm going to talk about in this presentation is 2+2 model, guaranteed conditional admission, and pathway program or transfer pathway. So what is the 2+2 model? That means that you usually take 2 years of classes or 60 credit hours at the community college, and then you take 2 years or an additional 60 credits at the 4-year university, and then you can complete your undergraduate or bachelor's degree in 4 years. Some programs and majors do take longer. Nursing is one of them, because I get a lot of questions about nursing from many international students. And if you do need developmental English or ESL English, some English classes, that would also add on some time. So guaranteed conditional admission, what is this? This means that you apply to the community college, and at the same time you're picking a partner 4-year university. Then you would receive 2 admission letters. You receive the full admission letter from the community college, and you receive the guaranteed conditional admission letter from the university. Usually that letter will state a certain grade point average or GPA that you must maintain, also completing an English course with a C grade or better. But this helps explain to the consular officer at your visa interview what your long-term academic plan is. It does not mean that you must attend that university that you've picked. You can always change your mind. So at St. Paul College, we have 11 partner universities that offer the guaranteed conditional admission. So another term that you might read about or see on websites as you're looking at community college websites might be pathway program or transfer pathway. But this means that you are applying for a specific major, and there's already an agreement in place between the community college and the university, laying out all the courses that you take at the community college, all the courses you take at the university. All those courses will transfer to the university, and you're not going to lose any credits. So all of the state university systems have these transfer pathways. So whether it's Minnesota, whether it's California, whether it's New York, whether it's Texas, the public college and university systems have these transfer pathways. And on your screen, you see what it is for the state of Minnesota. So we have pathway programs or transfer pathways with these universities: University of Minnesota Twin Cities, all of the Minnesota State universities, plus some private universities, Augsburg University, St. Mary's University, and St. Catherine's University. So we're going to talk a little bit about tuition, and I'm going to show you some slides that compares the tuition, the annual tuition that you would pay at a community college, and then the annual tuition that you would pay at a university. So St. Paul College's tuition is between $5,800 and $7,000 per year, depending on how many credits you take. But Houston Community College in Texas, Foothill De Anza Community College in California, Green River Community College in Washington State, all the community colleges are around, that same price range. So really the most expensive community colleges are maybe $10,000 per year tuition, but they're certainly less expensive than on the right on your screen. You see the tuition amounts for four-year universities per year. So University of Minnesota Twin Cities is $36,000 per year. University of California at Berkeley is $47,000 per year. So you can see there's a really big difference. So this is a bar graph that just shows the amount of tuition that you would spend over 4 years. The blue bar is 4 years at a four-year university. The red bar is 2 years at a community college and 2 years at the university, and the total amount of tuition you would spend. And you can see in every case, it's less expensive by attending a community college first. All of our conditional guaranteed admission partner universities do also offer scholarships for your years 3 and 4 at the university by maintaining at least a 2.5 grade point average or higher. So here are some of the tuition discounts or the scholarships, essentially, that you would be offered if you attended St. Paul College first and then attended one of our guaranteed conditional admission partner private universities. So Augsburg University, as an example, is one of our partner universities. Their normal full cost of tuition is $40,000 per year. But if you transferred to Augsburg and you maintained that grade point average, you're actually spending $15,000 per year on tuition. So they're giving you $25,000 per year scholarship. And then again, the bar graph, the same. You can see the amount of money that you would spend 4 years at a four-year university, which is the blue bar, and the orange bar is 2 years at a community college and 2 years at the university. Overall, over the 4 years, you're spending less money by attending a community college. So we do also offer, or our partner public universities offer discounts or scholarships as well. So in our Minnesota state system, we have St. Cloud State University, Metro State University, and Mankato State University. And on the left, you see the full cost of tuition, but on the right, you see the tuition that you actually end up spending. And again, if you were to attend a community college first and the university afterward, the total amount of tuition that you're spending is less. So the total cost for tuition for 4 years at our partner Minnesota State public universities, St. Cloud State would be about $34,000, Metro State about $31,000 US dollars, and then Mankato would be $32,000 US dollars. And that's a total amount of tuition that you would spend over 4 years. So if you're thinking about tuition, fees, books, living expenses, health insurance, and you're thinking about 4 years, okay, how much is 4 years going to cost me in total? It's approximately $80,000. So now we're going to talk a little bit about St. Paul College specifically. These photographs that you see are some of our current international students. St. Paul College is ranked one of the top 150 community colleges in the US currently. We are located right in downtown St. Paul, Minnesota, a city of 400,000 people next to Minneapolis, another 500,000 people. So The Minneapolis-St. Paul urban area cities together are just under 1 million people. We also have a good public transportation system, buses and light rail to get around. At St. Paul College, we have a total of 10,000 students, with some of those being part-time and some being full-time. As an international student, you would be a full-time student. We have 54 different associate degrees that we offer. Most of our international students are in the liberal arts, which is getting your general education credits or classes done and completed. We also offer many business programs, business, finance, marketing, accounting, just to name some. And then STEM, our science, technology, engineering, and math. And that would also include biology, chemistry, computer science, computer programming, and our pre-engineering program. We are the most diverse institution of higher education in the state of Minnesota. We have 63% students of color. We have 62 different countries represented on campus. So our international students do feel very welcome and at home at our college. So we offer a lot of different student services to our students. These are all free. These are all included in the tuition that you're already paying. So you're not paying anything extra for our student services. We have a tutoring center. You can get one-on-one tutoring help for any of your classes. We have an academic advising office. We have a mental health office, and we have 2 licensed mental health counselors that work in our mental health office that you can see for free. We have a career services office, a disability and resources office, a student life, which manages all of our student clubs and organizations. We have a global cultures club, which was started by the international students, although all students are welcome. It's very active right now, even via Zoom. And we have international student services, which would be me, and I would be helping you with everything to do with your I-20, your F1 visa, with your international application. So just another graph showing the tuition. So St. Paul College starts at around $5,800 per year tuition. And then on the screen, you see the graph just goes up with some of the other colleges and universities around the state of Minnesota. We do have some scholarships available for international students. You do apply for these scholarships separately, and you are eligible for these scholarships starting your 2nd semester. So not your 1st semester, but you arrive, you come, you start classes, and then in that semester, you're applying for the following semester. We have 3 deadlines, so the spring, summer, and fall. And our scholarships range from $500 to $1,000 each semester or per semester, and you can apply every semester after your 1st semester. And we have awarded, in the last 3 semesters, we have awarded 18 international students a total of $10,000. And then there's also the Study Minnesota Scholarship. That application is always due on May 1st of every year. It's not up yet on our website, the Study Minnesota website, because it's a little too early, but May 1st of 2021, you have the opportunity to apply for the $1,000 scholarship. So how do you apply to St. Paul College? It's a pretty simple process. It's an online application, which is free. We do not charge an application fee. Provide proof of English language proficiency, the financial certification statement with a bank statement showing at least US $24,015, scans of your high school records or secondary school records, a scan of your passport, an immunization form, and the F1 International Student Agreement form, and that's it. And then on the screen, www.stpaul.edu/international will bring you to our international admissions webpage. So we do not require an essay, no SAT score, no ACT score, and like I said, we do not charge an application fee. And in this picture that you see on your screen, these are the international students from the fall of last year, so fall of 2019. Of course, this is pre-COVID. And we host a President's Welcome Reception at the orientation for our international students. President Peasley is standing in the middle. She is the president of St. Paul College. And there is a student, two students to her right, Daniela, and she is from Brazil. So the English proficiency requirement, we will accept the TOEFL or the IBT, the IELTS, the Duolingo, or the Pearson. Most students nowadays are just doing the Duolingo because it's online and it's the least expensive option, I believe, of all of these options. But all students will still take the assessment test called the AccuPlacer at the orientation to determine their English and math placements for the classes. Oh, there's Daniela in the picture. She's kind of right in the middle. That's Daniela from Brazil. So the cost to attend, as I had mentioned, is US $24,015. And this is how that is calculated. It is tuition, which ranges from $5,800 to $7,000 per year. It's books and supplies, health insurance, living expenses, transportation, and personal. The only amount of money that you're actually paying to St. Paul College, is tuition and health insurance. The other expenses are on your own, depending on how much you spend or how little you spend. So with COVID-19, many of our classes are online. We offer both synchronous and asynchronous online classes. So that means you're either meeting in Zoom once or twice a week at the same day of the week and the same time and seeing the professor via Zoom, or asynchronous means that you're doing the work all online on your own time. We do have some in-person and hybrid classes, our science labs, some of our specialty programs, our culinary arts program, they're still offering in-person classes. Most staff are working remotely or working from home. I'm working from home right now. We are keeping the same plan for the spring of 2021, but international students can start online from their home countries. For example, if you wanted to start 1 or 2 online classes in the spring, which starts in January, you could do that and then hope to arrive by August for the fall of 2021. So again, I had already showed you this, but these are the universities that we have the 4-year pathway programs with. We have a lot of students that are interested in the University of Minnesota Twin Cities because that is such a highly ranked university. And then we have a lot of students that stay within the Minnesota State University system and go to Metro State, St. Cloud, or Mankato because the cost is so much lower. And again, the 11 universities, our 11 partner universities that we have the guaranteed conditional admission program with. So very briefly, eventually when you apply to a college or a university, you're going to be issued an I-20 visa document. You use that to go and apply for your F1 visa. You must prove ties to your home country. That is the terminology that consular officers usually use. So that means family ties, photographs of family, siblings, parents, maintaining a residence, maybe it's ownership of property or a job when you return home. You usually have to show original bank statements that are 3 months old or less. You would have the admission letter from St. Paul College and the guaranteed conditional admission letter from the university. But most importantly, when you are speaking with the consular officer, most of them are going to ask why St. Paul College and why your degree program, and just make sure that you can answer those questions. So just a little bit about housing. St. Paul College does not have any residential halls or dorms on campus. I do provide an updated handout of off-campus apartment options. There's also several housing apartment search engines that I have on our website. We also partner with 2 homestay companies. You can sign up and ask to be paired with a host family or a homestay. And most students get together with other students and share apartments because it's cheaper. So if you, for example, are in a 2-bedroom apartment, the monthly rent is about $1,100 per month, but of course that's split in half. So your half of the rent would be $550 per month. And that is me, Carol Meant, my email, my phone number, our website. And that's the end of the formal presentation, and I would be happy to take any questions.
Pessoal, se tiver alguém aqui que tiver precisar de algum apoio para a tradução, fiquem à vontade e fiquem à vontade para fazer suas perguntas também, ok?
So just, I don't know if anybody joined us late, but I just put my email address into the chat again. If somebody joined us late, you can either type your questions into the chat or you can unmute your microphone, whatever you'd like to do. You're very welcome. So does anyone have any more general questions about, a community college and different community college options, about different degree programs you can study at a community college, or how do you transfer to a university?
Transferring to universities is a very common question when it comes to community colleges. Do you have any tips, or would you like to share any specifics you think might help?
Yeah, so if a student wants to eventually get their bachelor's degree, then if they attend a community college that is in the same state as the university that they eventually want to attend, usually that's a little kind of easier. All right. So, for example, if a student wanted to go to the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, they are here in Minnesota. I know this university, I know people that work there, I know their transfer advisors, I have direct access to those transfer advisors, and I can tell exactly which classes, I know exactly which classes they need at St. Paul College that will transfer in. I also know what GPA they have to have, I know all this. But if a student wants to say, if they know they want to be at the University of California, Berkeley, okay, and they know, I want to go to the University of California at Berkeley, then really they should be looking at community colleges in California. Because if they stay within the California system, kind of transferring credits would be a little streamlined, a little easier. A student can attend the University of California at Berkeley from St. Paul College. Okay, they can. But I don't know exactly which classes are going to transfer in.
All right. That's a great tip, actually.
So yes, one of the questions in this chat is, can I transfer to any university? Yes, you can, as long as you're accepted. But if it's a university that I'm not used to working with, and I don't work with on a regular basis, sometimes it can just be a little trickier to kind of figure out the answers to the questions. And another question in the chat is, are there any dorms at St. Paul College? We do not have any dorms, but St. Paul College is located right in the city of St. Paul, like right in the city. So there are apartment buildings literally across the street. Like you walk 10 seconds and you are at St. Paul College. So, and then there's apartment buildings everywhere. I mean, so we are right in an urban area, and there's lots and lots of off-campus apartments available. It usually takes students maybe a couple of weeks after they arrive to find an apartment. Or what some international students do is they sign up for a host family, the homestay program, their first semester. Then they have some place to go right away. And then they take that first semester to look for an apartment, and then they move into an apartment.
All right. And this comes to another question from Simone. If São Paulo help prospective students with housing, if I was accepted in São Paulo, would you have some service, or would you have any tips, any orientation for housing at first place?
So I do keep an updated list of close by apartments, what's available, how much they cost. All the apartments on my list are a mile or less away, right? So, you know, even if you walked 1 mile, that only takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But there's buses around, you know, there's public transportation, so that's usually not a problem. I also have 3 different like apartment search engines on my website that you can type in the zip code, and you can see all the apartments that pop up right around St. Paul College. And we have 2 homestay companies that we partner with. So if a student, like I cannot find an apartment for you, okay? Like I can't like literally find an apartment and say, you're gonna stay here. I can give you information, you know, but you're signing the lease, you know, you're paying the rent and, you know, those kinds of things. But what I suggest to a student, if they really, really just want a place to live, for sure, I do suggest they sign up for that host family or the homestay for their first semester, because it gives, they will pick you up from the airport. You have a place to go like right away.
Yeah.
And then it gives you 3 or 4 months, you know, to look around, and you're going to want to visit the apartments. You're going to want to see them. You want to see what's the kitchen like, you know, where is it? Where's the bus stop, and those kinds of things.
Great, thank you. And there's a question from Anna here. Do we need to pay the first semester, considering that we are only available to apply for scholarship on the second semester?
So yes, I mean, a first semester student does need to pay, you know, their first semester of tuition. Their first semester of tuition would be anywhere from $2,900 to $3,500 per semester. So that's a semester. You're not paying, you know, the full year tuition up front. You're paying semester by semester. So the first semester, yes, you would have to pay for that tuition. You apply for the scholarship. Hopefully you would be offered the scholarship your second semester. And then if you're offered a scholarship, then it would be either $500 or $1,000 less. Okay, so then you're paying the tuition, but minus the scholarship.
Okay. And that comes to another question from Simone. Can you give an estimate idea of living costs?
Yep, so I am going to share my screen one more time. And I am going to go back to the housing. Okay, well, first of all, this is the cost to attend for 12 months. This is what is listed on our I-20 visa document. You know, so as a SEVP, Student Exchange Visitor Program certified institution, you know, we can issue I-20 visa documents, and we have to put on your I-20 the total estimated cost to attend for 12 months, and we've estimated at $24,015. I've estimated living expenses to be $13,000. Now that's an estimate. That includes rent, food, internet, heat, electricity. You know, that's an estimate. But I can say that some students spend less than this. Some students spend more, right? Like if you are sharing an apartment with one other student or two other students or three other students, then you might spend less than a total of $13,000, right? If your rent per month is $500, right? Then over 6 months, that's $6,000 in rent. Well, you're not going to spend $7,000 in food and electricity and Wi-Fi. I mean, you're going to spend something less than that. So I'm just looking for my housing. There's my housing website. So studio apartments, which are 1-room apartments, like literally 1 room, we call those studio apartments, are $800 a month. 1-bedroom apartments, so that means you have a bedroom separate from like your kitchen and living room, those start at about $850 per month. And 2-bedroom apartments start at about $1,100 per month. So that's like for the whole apartment, right? So you're splitting that half and half. A lot of students share houses. So there's a big 5-bedroom house that they're renting. Each student gets their own bedroom. And usually the rent is no more than $500 per month for a big house. Like your part of the rent.
Great, thank you.
Great, so any other questions? I think most of the questions in the chat I've answered. Are there any other questions?
Mais alguma coisa, pessoal? Não?
Do feel free to contact me anytime. Email, phone. I use WhatsApp too. Some students like that because it's really quick. It's very like fast. But if you have any questions about anything, I'm happy to answer those. I'll type my email into the chat one more time so everyone has it, because there's a couple people I think that, or at least one person that just joined. And if you're thinking, even like we had one student who's thinking about fall of 2022, which is great because you're planning ahead. But even if you're thinking that far ahead, you know, and you contact me next semester or next fall and have a question, I'm happy to answer any questions anytime.
Thank you.
But we do have, as I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, we do have a couple of students from Brazil, and both of those students arrived to us through the J1 au pair program. So they came to the US on the J1 au pair program. They lived with their host family for 1 year. They took one class at St. Paul College part-time, because that's part of the au pair program, is to take a class. And then they decided they liked it, they stayed, they changed their visa to an F1, and then they become a full-time student. So that seems to be a way that Brazilian students are kind of finding their way to St. Paul College, at least.
Hi, Carol. How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, hi, Simona. Good to see you too.
Great. Next time we can schedule another webinar, and maybe you could invite some of the Brazilian students to join the webinar and share their vision, their perspective about São Paulo, and give some tips to our students around here.
Yes, I'd be happy to do that. We can probably do that. Daniela, who's the Brazilian student I've had for the longest, she's been with me for 1.5 years. She is going to graduate in May of 2021 with her childhood development associate degree. She has been doing awesome. She's already found an internship for the spring semester, which is a requirement
How cool.
for the childhood development program to work in a classroom and get that classroom experience. She knows to apply for optional practical training, or OPT, for the end of her degree program. She's planning on working in a school for 1 year, and she'd get the 1 year of work authorization. So she's on it. She's all organized.
Great. Thank you, Carol. I have to go. I have another session now, but it was a pleasure to be around and at least to be in part of the presentation. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Fernanda.
Bye. Thank you, Simone. Thank you. So I think, do you think we can wrap up now, Carol?
We can. I think so.
Yes,
I mean,
think we answered all the
don't
questions,
see any
right?
other. Yep. Yeah, I don't see any other questions there in the chat. This was great. Thank you so much, everyone, for spending, 45 minutes with me.
No, that was great. So, thank you very much, Carol, for your presentation. Pessoal, muito obrigada pela presença de todos. Esse vídeo está sendo gravado e nós vamos colocar a gravação na nossa página do YouTube, do EducationUSA Brasil. E, por favor, fiquem ligados nos nossos eventos, na nossa agenda dentro do site EducationUSA Brasil, também nas nossas redes sociais. Nós temos eventos quase todo dia. Estamos aqui para ajudá-los no que for preciso, tá bom? Um abraço. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.